Hello, Year 10. Today we are doing applications of simultaneous equations. So the previous two lessons we learnt about using the substitution method, and using the elimination method was the second lesson to solve simultaneous equations. Now we want to take those skills that we've learnt and we want to apply them to some word problems, basically. So you need to be able to interpret the word problems to create the two equations. For these questions, that's often the hardest part. Once you have found those two equations, then you have all the skills that we've previously learnt to use either the substitution or the elimination, whichever one you like, to solve the problem. Okay, so let's give these a go. Question 1a. Find two numbers whose difference is 5 and whose sum is 17. So the two numbers are going to have to represent the letters that I'm going to use in my equation. So I'm going to let the numbers that I'm looking for be the letter X and Y. Okay, so difference means I want to subtract my two numbers. So I'm going to assume that X is the bigger one, and I'm going to say X take away Y is going to be equal to 5. Then we are told the sum of the two numbers is 17. So X plus Y is equal to 17. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. We have our two equations. Now we have to decide whether we're going to use substitution or elimination method. Now the way these are set up, you can see that I've already got nice X's in line here, Y's in line there, and equals number. And the coefficients of the X's, if you like, are already the same. So this is set up very nicely to do an elimination method. So I'm going to put my big line across here, and I'm going to subtract those two equations to make the X's eliminate. So X minus X is nothing, 0. Minus Y minus another Y is minus 2Y, equals 5 minus 17 is minus 12. Then I divide by negative 2 and I get Y is equal to 6. Then I'm going to sub back into one of my original equations. Let's just go up here and call this one equation 1, and I'm going to sub into equation 1. So it will be X minus 6 equals 5. Adding the 6 to the other side, I get X equals 11. So X and Y were things that I introduced, so I need to write a little sentence to explain my answer. So I was looking for two numbers, so I'm going to say, therefore, the numbers that we were asked to find are 6 and 11. Okay, let's move on to part B. The difference between two numbers is 3. Okay, so again, let's start by saying, let the numbers be X and Y. So the difference between them is going to be X minus Y is equal to 3. So again, X would be the bigger number. Then, if 3 times the larger number, so we remember X is larger, so 3 times the larger number minus double the smaller number, so double is 2 lots of Y, is equal to 20. Find the two numbers. Okay, so we've got X's, Y's equal numbers. It's not quite, we can't do an elimination straight away, but if I timesed that first equation by 3, then I could do the elimination method. So let's do that. 3x minus 3y equals 9. The second equation, I'm just going to rewrite it. And then to make the x's eliminate, I'm going to subtract them. 3x minus 3x disappears. Minus 3y minus minus 2y would make negative y. And 9 take away 20 is negative 11. Divide by negative 1 and we get y is equal to 11. Sub into, where do we want to sub into? Back up here, equation 1. So that would be x minus 11 equals 3. Add the 11 and we get x is equal to 14. Therefore, the numbers are 11 and 14. Okay, let's go to the next page. Part C. A rectangle has a perimeter of 46 meters. The length is 5 meters longer than the width. Okay, so the dimensions are going to be the pronumerals that we're after. So on my diagram here, I'm going to say that the shorter side is going to be x and the longer side is going to be y. The perimeter of that rectangle would be 2 x's plus 2 y's. And we're told that that perimeter is equal to 46. Then, after the first sentence, we're told the length is 5 meters longer than the width. So, if I took the longer side, which was y, and I subtract the x, that is equal to 5. Okay, now that is not in the right order for it to be an elimination question. I could fix it if I wanted to, but let's do this one as a substitution method. I'm going to take that second equation there, and I'm going to leave the y where it is and move the x across the other side. So we'll go x plus 5. Then I'm going to call this one equation 1 and this one equation 2, and I'm going to take the x plus 5 here and replace it or sub it in to the y. So I'm subbing equation 2 into equation 1, and that gives 2x plus 2, replace the y with x plus 5 equals 46. Let's expand. 2x plus 2x plus 10 equals 46. 2x plus 2x makes 4x plus 10 equals 46. Minus the 10, we get 4x equals 36. And divide by 4, we get x is equal to 9. Sub back in. Let's have a look what equation we'll sub into. Let's sub into equation 2. So that is y equals x, which is 9, plus 5, which gives 14. So x is 9 and y is 14, but remember that x and y are the dimensions of the rectangle. So let's write that in a little sentence. The dimensions of the rectangle are 14 meters by 9 meters. Okay, part D. 4 apples and 5 bananas cost $3.95. So let's, for something different, let's use the letter A for apples and B for bananas. So 4A plus 5B is equal to $3.95. If the difference in price between an apple and a banana is 20 cents, what is the price of each piece of fruit? Assume that the apple is more expensive. So if the apple is more expensive and we subtract off a banana, that is equal to 20 cents. Now there's something wrong with these two equations, which would mean that if I kept going from here, it wouldn't work. The thing that is wrong is that this was in dollars and this was in cents. So I can't have two different money units being used in my two equations. I need to make them the same. So instead of 3.95, I'm going to change that into 395 so that they're both in cents and then they're also in nice whole numbers. Okay, so let's do substitution method again. Let's rearrange this second equation, get the a by itself, which means we move the b across and it becomes positive b plus 20. So we're going to have equation 1, and this one's going to be equation 2. We're going to sub equation 2 into equation 1. So I take that a is equal to b plus 20, and it's going to go in the a for the first equation. So 4 lots of b plus 20 plus 5b is equal to 395. Expanding, we get 4b plus 80 plus 5b equals 395. Collecting like terms, 4b plus 5b is 9b plus 80 equals 395. Subtract the 80, we get 315, and dividing by 9, we get 35. Sub back into, let's do equation 2. And we get a equals, b is 35 plus 20. So a is equal to 55. All right, A and B were introduced, so finishing it off with a little sentence, we would say an apple costs, and we got apple was 55, so that was 55 cents, and a banana costs 35 cents. Okay, time to do exercise 1K.